Are you single? Do you want to find the right partner for you? I'm Natasha from Travelandtash, and today I'm going to be talking about 4 steps to help you learn more about yourself so that you can actually find the right partner. I'm the author of Relationships 18 Principles to Attract and Retain a Fulfilling Relationship. And I want to pick up and draw on 2 particular points that I make in my book, particularly points 2 and 3. Now, in point 2, I discuss identifying what we need. And what I suggest in the homework is to write down a list of characteristics that are desirable of a character or a person that would be desirable to your life. And I think that, in fact, before you can even do that, before you can identify what would be a desirable addition to your life in the form of another human being, I think that, in fact, you need to actually accept that, in fact, we attract what we are. And that's something I discuss in point number 3. I quote Bob Proctor, "I attract to me what I am in harmonious vibration with." Meaning that if you struggle with self-confidence, if you if there are aspects in your life that you that are really troubling you and you're trying to get your head around, characteristics that maybe you don't like about yourself, that you're hard on yourself, you don't forgive yourself, you dwell on the past. When you are struggling with issues, that's precisely the kind of person you're going to attract. And unfortunately, even sometimes when we think we're ready for a relationship, sometimes we're not, because we haven't really reconciled with our past. And we often seek somebody to help fix things. And the problem is that we actually need to fix them. We need to fix our own things before we have a chance to attract somebody into our life, because they very well may have similar struggles that actually won't be a good addition to your life. And so for that reason, drawing on those 2 points that I discuss in my book, namely identifying what we need, identifying the type of person that we want, and that we end up identifying or attracting a person that happens to be in similar vibration or similar energy to us, whether that be negative or positive, whether we're struggling or whether we come from a place of love. So that said, I'm going to discuss 4 points to essentially help us discover who it is that we are. And this is actually a journey that I'm taking right now, which is why I want to talk about it. So number 1 is learn your core values. And this is something that Evan Carmichael refers to frequently on his YouTube channel. And I recently put together, actually, let's call it an autobiography, or a little picture of myself. Like, this is recently what I've been working on, actually. And I mean, I'm constantly going through a process of trying to learn more about myself, but I'm trying to do it a bit more seriously lately. And I would like to share with you some of my core values. First of all, I identified core values by responding actually to a video that Evan had made, and that was, actually I discussed this in a previous YouTube video, where Warren Buffett suggested that in order to be the person that you want to be, you have to identify what qualities you like in people, or that you value. And one way to do that is by looking at values that your friends hold, and values that people that you absolutely hate hold, and by doing so, identifying what it is that you love and what is it that you hate. And I'll link in the video below where I actually talk about that. But essentially, my core values I've discovered are courage is number one. I value courage. I value it in myself, and I value it when I see it in other people. For me, that's probably my number one. I believe that is my number one, that I have the most respect for people that show courage, and I respect myself the most when I show courage. Also, perseverance and sincerity. My secondary core values, or that they are core values, but those three are my main ones: adventure, learning, sharing, and personal growth. For me, those things are the essence of what I hold dear, what I think is important. Number two is identifying your beliefs. Now, to be honest, I wasn't really sure how to go about identifying what it is that I classify as my beliefs, and so I reached out to Pinterest actually to see what it is that people deem to be beliefs, and I've identified a few, and also I really enjoy listening to Tony Robbins, and so a few of his quotes have found their way into my belief systems, and I'm going to share those with you too. So whatever you look for, you will find. Treat others how you want to be treated. Everything happens for a reason. If I'm committed, there's always a way to make it work. Response and reactions come from a place of either pain or a place of love. And those are beliefs that really strike deeply for me. Those are things that I think are incredibly important, and I feel that somebody that I'm in a relationship with needs to be able to share very similar beliefs. Those fundamental core beliefs that I believe to be true. Number three, identify your qualities, because you can really begin to appreciate yourself when you understand a little bit about who you are, almost like a CV. Like this is who I am, and this needs to be recognized within yourself as something that you value, who you are, and therefore, doing a self-analysis of myself, I would say that my qualities are these. I'm not a perfectionist. I think that's a great thing, because it means that I can actually finish projects without taking forever to do them, because I'm trying to work out every last detail. I don't need everything to be perfect. I'm affectionate. I communicate my needs. I'm assertive. I'm fun-loving and playful. I'm spontaneous and I'm trusting. I need encouragement. I'm intuitive and I'm aware of my feelings and aware of the feelings of other people too. I have a sense of humour, and I'm courageous and honest. I recommend that you go ahead and make a list of the qualities that you are. And I don't think that you're, identifying these in a partner, that essentially that your partner needs to be exactly the same. But your partner needs to value those qualities. If a partner doesn't value those qualities, you could find yourself in a very difficult relationship, a very challenging one. So I think that it's good to identify those with a potential partner before you get serious with them, before you fall in love. Number 4, identifying your love language. I think that as part of a self-discovery, self-development, essentially a program that you're putting yourself through, identify what is it that makes you feel loved. I've mentioned before Gary Chapman's book, The 5 Love Languages. I'll link it in below so that you can find it on Amazon, his book on Amazon. But Gary Chapman essentially wrote a book explaining that people have love communicated to them in different ways, and people understand some of them and they don't really understand others. And I've personally discovered only in the last year or so that my main love language is physical touch and intimacy, and my second is communication. Other people's love language might be gift giving. Other people's love language might be acts of service, doing favors for somebody, and by doing that, showing that you love somebody. Others, it's words of affirmation, telling somebody, using words to make them feel loved. And I think that we all need all of those to some degree. It's just that some of them are more strong. Some of them you really feel loved by one or two of those particular ways to communicate love. I think also that when we're trying to find out who we are, that we also have to admit that we're on a journey to discovering ourselves, and that discovery really never ends because we're always changing. We're like a waterfall that's flowing, creating all of these different channels, and we're constantly adapting, we're learning new things, we're going through life experiences that begin to change our perception and begin to actually change parts of who we are. And so I feel that part of who we identify ourselves as comes from our past, our collection of memories, our collection of experiences, what we associate with pain, what we associate with pleasure. But in order to build a future, in order to create one, we need to accept that we are not our past, that our past is part of who we've become. But it doesn't create us. It doesn't have to create us. We can let it create us, but we don't have to. And so essentially, just like a waterfall, the way that we flow and the course of our life is fluid. And having said that, I want to stress that when you understand yourself better, you're in a stronger position to find a partner that's aligned to your values, to your beliefs. Somebody that's going to accept and value your qualities, the person that you actually are, and also accept your past but not excuse you for your past, that you are still using self-awareness to make sure that you are able to respond rather than to react without self-awareness. So I'd like to leave you with a quote from Buddha, and he said that wise people fashion themselves, create yourself, and when you begin to be aligned with the person that you want to be, you're in a far stronger position to attract somebody into your life that will add value as a partner to your life. And anyway, thank you so much for watching. And I'm going to link in some of my social media contacts below so that you can find me elsewhere, on Twitter, on Facebook and Instagram as well. Thanks so much for watching. Take care.